Hi, my name is Matt Boston. I'm from Mountain View. I live here, and I got to say that downtown Mountain View area is absolutely safe. I don't think there's any difficulty at all for pedestrians around here. The only thing that would be better would be just eliminate cars, period.
So my name is Joy Farber, and I'm from Sunnyvale. And yeah, I also really don't think that this is going to change anything. You know, I know that I'm still going to smoke wherever I want to smoke, and you know, if people don't like that, then they can move. I definitely respect not smoking like immediately in front of an open door to a business, but as long as my smoke is not going into someone's building, I really don't think that it's a problem.
Alex Pierce, I'm from Mountain View, and yeah, I actually do think that smoking outdoors should be kept away from publicly accessible buildings, especially entrances, sidewalks, areas where people are generally walking.
Hi, my name is Oz, like Cheerios. I am working at a startup here in Mountain View, and this winter I'm going to be watching what I eat and start exercising a little more to stay healthy.
Hey, my name's Ray, and I work in Mountain View, and the kind of things that I'm doing to stay healthy for this winter is, number one, is wash my hands. Every time I go into the office or I go home, I wash my hands to keep myself germ-free. That's probably the number one thing that keeps me healthy in the winter. And then second, I eat really well. So I eat fresh vegetables, and I eat the vegetables that are available in the winter. And then third, I get a lot of sleep. So I think with those three things, I wash my hands, I eat fresh vegetables, and I get good sleep, I stay pretty healthy in the winter.
My name is Seema Bhattiprolu. I just moved to California like last year, but I live around Castro. I actually think it's a double-edged sword. I'm not too happy about the fact that Google will actually get that space, because it's just giving more power to corporate companies, and Google is a big name and they do a lot of good things, but it's also giving a lot of power to one particular organization. But at the same time, since the government really doesn't seem to care about the toxification out there that's going on, and a company is actually coming forward to look into the environmental issues, that's good too. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword.
I'm Daniel Vucerovic. I'm here in Mountain View, which is where I'm from. I had not heard about this, and I was not aware of any of the toxic chemicals that are in question. I think that does need to be dealt with before anybody moves forward, but I think it's great that Google is potentially going to step up and do something about that with their rather sizable resources. So there's that. So go Google. Thanks for the nice browser.
Hello and welcome to Voices Shaking USC. I'm your host, Ashley Williams, for this edition. I'm a junior varsity debater on the USC Trojan Debate Squad. This is where policy debate begins and never ends. And on our show today, we're actually going to engage in a mini policy debate between the USC Trojan debaters.
I'm affirming the topic that the United States federal government should jail people who exhibit racism or prejudice. And so I'm going to use the case of Henry Louis Gates and the police officer as my starting point. And he was stopped by a police officer without probable cause because he had trouble getting into his own home. He lost his keys, and he was suspected that he was breaking into someone else's home when in fact it was his own home, and he was asked to show identification in his own house. I think that was a gross invasion of privacy, and President Obama called it a teachable moment. Well, I call it a moment that we need to reflect on the way that racism sort of operates in this country.
I guess some of the main points that I would attack is like in cross-examination, I didn't receive a very satisfactory answer to this question about racism exactly. Sure, people exhibit racism every day, it's an everyday basis, but how exactly do you identify it? And is there like a bright line for the punishment? For example, let's say someone out of an act of racism kills another person. Would their punishment be greater than just a simple act of like disrespect as a form of racism? So that's the first argument. Spotlight. So again, I'm not saying that racism is okay. I'm not saying it's acceptable. In fact, it's totally the opposite. I completely agree with Mr. Sterling that racism is totally not tolerable, but I'm saying that a better solution is needed, and we need to go in a different direction.
So, JR, are you about ready for your speech?
Yes. Well, while Mr. Hu did make some good points, he sort of dropped the ball on a few of them. The first is that he asked whether there's a bright line for exhibiting racism. Well, that's the thing. Racism is very insidious, and its logic is it works behind closed doors. And in this particular instance, with the police officer and Henry Louis Gates, this not only gets into racism, but it also gets into issues of probable cause and the rights that citizens have. And as a citizen, Mr. Gates is entitled to be treated with the utmost respect that he wasn't shown in this case, and this was a very clear act of racism and a very clear invasion of privacy.
Please tune in for next time on our show, and if you have any opinions or interests that you would like to express to us, please email us at uscdebatevoices@gmail.com. I hope to see you next time. Take care.